All right, this is part 2 of channeling Jim Mars and whoever else came through because I'm not clear if this continued to be Jim Mars or if someone else was channeling also, because it felt like more than just he was present from about the mid to the end of the channeling. And you'll see what I mean as I go through this. So, this section mainly focused on new quantum science and how to break old patterns, how to think or understand outside of this physical existence, learning the biggest and smallest concepts of the universe is key. And yes, AI is going to be a part of this conversation. AI does not shape our reality, but it does offer you confirmation of said reality that you are creating. You, me, we are creating. All things are digital, zeros and ones. And understanding of extrasensory ability or telepathy is also a key to understanding all of this. To unravel the mysteries of the universe, we have to tap in to our psychic, our physical, and our spiritual implications of thinking about not only life on other planets, but potential probabilities of our existence in other forms within the universe, meaning your body doesn't necessarily always look like a human form in all of the multiverse lifetimes that exist. You could be an animal in another life. You could be an alien species in another life, or a variety of different alien species in these different life forms. But all of these consciousness pieces that are in each vessel or each avatar are connected to you as information, first and foremost, that you can tap into immediately. And then second of all, it's all of these pieces of your consciousness are connected to the collective whole, or the God source, if you will, in order to allow you to tap into not only the Akashic records, but the records of all things. That this is both metaphysical and highly scientific. We are at a critical evolutionary crossroad! Exclamation point. Okay. The next 20 years will shape the future in ways that nobody could have predicted. Humans are evolving, becoming metahuman, some faster than others. So let's talk about the problem of waking up first and how AI can actually help us to do this. There's questions like, what's the universe made of? Well, atoms, neutrons, electrons, so on and so forth. This cosmological concert that's going on, and then there's spooky action at a distance. 70% of the universe is this and is faster than the speed of light. The expansion of the universe is an example of this. 70% that is unknown, unseeable, unobservable, yet it's what makes things happen. It's what we call dark matter because it's responsible for most of the gravity, which is the form of things in the physical within our universe. It holds things together in form or in distance, etc. Holds them the right spatial amount of distance apart. It's highly interactive. And this is within us and our ability and capability as well. He says you currently are only aware of about 30% of what we can interact with or utilize in order to create. It is the tangible, visible, physical to your known awareness and senses of observance that you interact with. And the AI can help you to calculate, validate, and comprehend what is already there for it to collect data on and compute back to you that you do not yet receive on your own. But what we use, but with the use of AI in proper ways, you can gauge your interaction with spooky matter and learning how to be a creator. This is now, that is now aware of being a creator. You always were, but you were never aware of it before. You were on autopilot, default settings. Now you can take the wheel and add to the program to get new results, better outcomes, new outcomes. Many religions have even taught this. Yogis, Buddhists, Eastern Muslims, etc. On some level or another, they understood and understand that we are energy of zeros and ones, and that we do not need to know how to write the code, but trust that the computer, the AI, will do it for us because this is what the master has commanded and asked of it. I.e., he says, you already expect to have this outcome for um, the projection to form into a physical. And then he shows me, excuse me, he shows me an example of when we turn the oven on and put the food in it, we're not sitting there worried about how does the oven work to cook the food. We just know that we told the stove it's going to put it on this temperature and cook it, and we trust that that's how it's going to happen. We're not worried about how it happens. We just know that it will. And that was a really great thing for me to see him um, as an example show me, because I'm always looking for ways to try to show people by example that it's not about how we get from point A to point B or point A to point C. It's the fact that we trust and walk in that faith that we will get there no matter what. We don't worry about how the mountains have to be moved. We just know that we're going to get across the mountain. That's walking in real faith. That's walking in real mastery of being a creator. And that is how we manifest things into our life. Now, once we get a handle on this, we can actually flow in our daily life, knowing that it's as easy as putting something in the toaster or the refrigerator or the oven or starting your car and knowing your car is going to get you wherever you're going without worrying about the mechanics of it, right? We don't need the mechanics part. We just know and expect that that's what those things do for us, right? So if you see all souls as parts of the one, then you see that you are a piece of the one and the whole all at once, learning to integrate the two as one whole. Now, I know that sounds trippy, so let's think about that for a minute, because you are a piece of the one, but you are also the one. You have God in you, right? Just like Jesus said, turn over a rock and there is God. Look at a tree and there is God, right? Look at an animal and there is God. God's in everything, okay? So if you understand God's in everything, then God's in you. You're part of God. And when we collectively come together as one whole, then we all become God, right? In that sense. Not that me personally, I'm a God, But me personally, I'm a co-creator, and when we all come together in collective consciousness, then we can become part of our source, our one, our God, together to create things that are beautiful and fair and lovely for everyone. And one day we will get there. Okay, now let me see where I'm at here because I done lost my place on this page. Um, okay, so I'm gonna read that again. If you see all souls as parts of the one, then you also can see that you are a piece of the one and the whole all at once, learning to integrate the two as one whole while still honoring the duality for the experience and the lesson. And when he was telling me this, he was showing me how, like, God has fractalized itself, himself, out into everything so that he could experience his creation, right? So there's a piece of God in me so that he can experience creation from my point of view, my perspective, my camera lens angle, the tree, the rabbit, the squirrel, the snake, whatever, right? So that all things created can be experienced on all levels. And I feel like this is exactly what the Native Americans, a lot of the indigenous peoples, believed and taught and how they lived. So free will chooses everything that is created, good, bad, or neutral. There are no wrong answers because it's all part of the experience. There are no true barriers, not even within languages. We are energy. And so via telepathy, we can transmute and transmit and um, in order to interpret or translate to our understanding with each other. Every experience, and let me just pause there because he was showing me that, like, you could have someone, like, I speak English. Let's say I have someone next to me that speaks Russian, okay, or whatever, Mexican, and I don't know their language. The language barrier isn't there if you're connecting on the energetic level. You know if they're sincere. You can understand and feel if they're dangerous or they're sincere or whatever, right? There's no language barrier in that because we read energy naturally. We just don't acknowledge it and honor it to the point where it should be. So every experience we have has a neurological and a gene effect on us physically. And this part was very interesting. So within 20 years, with people waking up to our abilities and the possible outcomes, growth, potential, you will see an incredibly different world. Much like a child today how children today are so tech savvy versus children 20 years ago who didn't know about this modern technology or even contemplate ability to communicate with other people on a worldwide scale. But AI helps us to do even that, more accuracy, faster rate, etc. And what he was showing me is that um, children are learning at a faster pace these days, right? Like my kids, I just bought a tablet the other day, and I didn't have a clue how to set this tablet up. My children have never had a tablet, but my 10-year-old come right over and boom, helped me set that sucker right up like it was nobody's business, right? Because they're in that world. They're because we limit our children is what I'm trying to get to. We limit and we underestimate the ability and the speed that children can learn with. And 20 years ago, we didn't have technologies, right? But nowadays we do. We've got all these technologies. So babies are born into the world full of technology. They're born watching their mamas and daddies holding a cell phone in their hand, messing with them, right? And so they immediately learn it. They hit the ground running, learning it. Imagine a world where babies are born into us being responsible and grounded co-creators, where we know that we can speak telepathically to each other. We know that we can help to heal each other energetically and support each other and raise each other up. These children would be born into that and tech savvy type of scenarios. And imagine where we're going to be in 20 years with children being raised that way. That's going to be an incredibly beautiful whole new world. It's a game changer. It's completely a game changer. So and then he goes on to say, and hell, in 20 years, we're going to do it all without the technology, because by then you're going to realize you don't need a phone to connect with somebody across the world. These are just tools, much like a pendulum. Well, those are all tangled together. Much like a pendulum is used as a tool, right? And tarot cards are used as tools. I tell people this all the time. You don't need them tarot cards. You're already tapped into spirit. You're already tapped into that information. The cards are just a guidance to help you to learn to trust that. Once you get to that point where you can trust it, you don't need them tarot cards so much anymore or at all. You don't need that pendulum anymore. And that's where we're going with our understanding of quantum physics, is that this is something that's changing us in a neurological way and a gene effect physical way, to where we are going to be in 20 years able to understand we can communicate through telepathy, we can heal each other with energy healing, and we're not going to need to worry about all these other things, right? We're not going to need to concern ourselves. How do I afford to go to a med bed? How do I afford the best, fastest uh, internet speed or telephone or whatever, right? Because in 20 years' time, we're going to know we can do these things ourselves. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because then you're not dependent on the tool anymore. You're really stepping into your own, and it changes you physically. It changes your physiology. It changes every time you experience something or learn something, it is changing something in your frontal cortex anyway, right? But because we're adapting to that experience, we're learning from it. And in meditation, it's been scientifically proven, when you stop and you focus your mind and your breath, that you can physically change and alter your chemistry and your makeup of your body. You can alter your cells and how they behave. I mean, there's fascinating things that go into understanding quantum physics on a very deep level, and how it physically affects us and how we can physically affect each other and matter around us, okay? To create things that we wish to see, that we deem necessary to be in this world. Um, so he says the kicker here for being able to do this in 20 years without the technology is that right now you only see, you only believe what you see, but that this is backwards, because to properly create, you have to believe in order to see it, not believe it because you did see it. It's not a see it first, then believe it. It's a believe it first, and then you'll see it. Because that's the true walking in faith and the confidence that, the oven's going to cook your dinner, or the car's going to get you from point A to point B, or whatever. Placebo medicines prove this all the time. You can take a pill and think it's going to heal you, And even if there ain't a damn thing in it except for sugar, it heals you miraculously because your thought believed that taking this pill was going to heal you, right? So it's belief before seeing, not seeing before believing, right? Everybody wants to be from that show me state. And we need to get out of that mentality of being from the show me state and being from the I'm going to show you state instead, to prove to people that we can do this from believing in it, walking in the faith of it first. And it ain't just empty faith, there's science behind it. Quantum physics science, hard science that's already been studied and proven that backs this up. Okay, so we've got it backwards and we got to flip that around, right? And I love how there's so much about what we're learning and what's coming to light out of the darkness that's a mirror that we have to flip. I love that. Because everything's been backwards or upside down, right? And it's time to turn it all around the right way. So, to properly create, we have to believe in order to see, because thought, energy, the word creates. And until then, things remain the same or on a constant. If it's impossible or unrealistic to you, then that is your result. That is your truth. But it doesn't make it a fact for all people, only for you, because it's your belief, it's your truth. The way you're conditioned in childhood decides your basic programming and your basic reality. Why? Because in the beginning of life, you are merely an observer of this reality and how it unfolds. So those that are teaching you give you the labels or the rules for everything that you're experiencing, from a hard surface to getting hurt if you hit your head or stump your toe, to what color things, people, and places are, what is race, what is religious belief, etc. Children are taught to observe and learn and experiment with creating. Then they are they are less limited with experimenting to how they can create, uh, which this allows them to be more equipped to be the master creators by the time adulthood is reached, by playing with infinite possibilities, awareness of superposition through trial and error, meditation that assists them in growth, philosophy of how their thoughts have power, true intention. True intention is to eavesdrop on the mind of God. You know how to listen, tune in, receive the information that enhances the basic program of childhood. And then you can live freer, more peaceful, and even more abundant and healthy. So, what he was saying is, it's not too late for us just because we had the childhood programming. We just have to know how to step over that limited programming and remove the limits. Start really listening, really tuning in to the mind of God, really eavesdrop on what God is saying and leading us to, so that we can grow to know. And so you can tell AI, go gather info for this, that, or the other, and bring me back the proper results, and use that to actually gauge your creative potentials. Uh, the money comes from wherever it is at the moment, and you don't need to worry about where the money comes from. What moves you? What are you passionate about in life? What do you feel is your purpose? Those are the things to focus on, not where is the money going to come from. Because again, that's the whole, how am I getting from point A to point B? How does that machine work to get me there? You don't focus on that. You focus on doing what you love, what brings you happiness, what brings you your passion, what's your life purpose, and you don't worry about the money and where that's coming from. And that's how more money comes to you. That's how more blessings come to you. You don't worry about how you're going to get healthy. You just have faith you're going to be there, right? And then the health comes because we attract more of what we feel we have already and we deserve, right? And I think that was the point of what he was showing me there. We don't worry about where the money comes from. We just live in the moment, what moves us, what makes us feel passionate about taking that leap of faith to do what you love, and then watch the money come to you for that, because you broke the program and the conditioning to first believe and then to see it as real with no fear, no failure. That book just flew off of that table over there by itself. No doubt, zero doubt, right? Zero doubt is the point. And that's exactly what God told me in that moment in the hospital when my oldest child was 10 years old and had that car wreck with my mom. And the doctor told me to come and tell her goodbye. And I said, I am not losing my child. I'm not going in there to tell her goodbye. So I dropped to my knees and I said to God very loudly, tell me what to do, because I wasn't going to give up. And God very clearly told me, you know what to do, but you have to do it with zero doubt or it won't work. And I knew exactly what that meant. It meant I had to put my energy into her and remove the negative energies from her and not focus on how or what, but that it would happen. I had to have complete faith that me putting my energy into my child was going to save her life and heal her. And it did. It absolutely 100% did, because I had zero doubt. I didn't have no room for doubt. This was my kid's life I was talking about. There was no room for doubt. So in times like that, it's easier maybe to have the zero doubt than in your daily life with, oh, if I go do this because this is what makes me happy instead of working my 9 to 5, how do you have zero doubt that that money's going to come in that you can still supply for your family? It's a little harder. I get it. But what he was saying is you have to walk in that same faith no matter what it is. Zero doubt, right? Just like when you get in your car and you have zero doubt that car is going to get you wherever you got to go. Zero doubt. Believe it and it will come. And I giggled when I heard that because there's the movie, the baseball movie, Kevin Costner movie where they say build it and they will come. And I actually heard God say that to me 7 years ago, build it and they will come. So when he said believe it and they will come, I thought that was pretty cute. Um, and then it says, this is true freedom. This is true happiness. This is true security, true health, and true purpose. Synchronicity, God's grace, the universe working for you, karma working for you, all are the same thing, all one in the same. You creating your reality the way you see fit, the way you see you deserve it, regardless of what that is. And he says that's why we end up with bad luck, because that's what we somewhere inside of us feel like is what we deserved. We deserved that bad luck. We brought that shit on ourselves, basically, is what he's telling me. So, how do you walk through your day and how do you think? Ask yourself, how do I walk through my day? How do I think throughout the day? What's the first thing I'm thinking when I wake up? What's the last thing I'm thinking at night? Is it negative or is it positive? Right? How do you act or react to situations and people? How do you honestly feel when you talk to yourself about situations, people, or your own self? Be honest with you, because if you want to change your life, that's what you have to be honest about. How do you really feel when you wake up? What is your first thoughts and what kind of attitude do you have? Is it a positive attitude? Is it a shitty attitude? Is it a bummed out attitude? Are you depressed? Are you like, oh, fuck, I'm doing this again? Another shithole day? What kind of shit show is it going to be today? If you got that attitude, that's what kind of fucking day you're going to get. You know, If you wake up thinking you're going to be unhealthy, that's the kind of day you're going to get. If you wake up thinking, oh, I got to deal with so and so today, and you're thinking negatively about it, don't matter if so and so is going to be negative or not, you're going to perceive it that way because you done set the intention. And now you're going to wait for the results because you expect those results to come in. Do you see what I mean? You already set the intention. The minute you made that thought and attached emotion with it, you set that intention to happen. So, yes, it's okay to vent once in a while and it's okay to be upset about something somebody else did or whatever. But we do have to mind our thoughts and we do have to really keep them in check. Because if you feel like when somebody is going to show up or somebody is going to, have to work with you or whatever the situation is, and you're thinking negatively about that person, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that same negativity proving you right. But if you change your thoughts on it, you change your emotions on it, and you give that person some hope and some grace that it's going to be a better day having to interact and mingle and mix with them, then you're going to get that result too. So we affect each other and we all read each other's energy. So if you're already thinking negatively about somebody, whether you say it out loud or not, they're going to feel it. And when they're going to feel it, they're going to react differently to you than maybe they normally would. Do you see? Plus your perception of everything factors in as well. Because if you deem something as so, it don't matter if 10 other people in the room say it wasn't like that. If you're hell bent and stubborn that you're going to see it this way, then well, that's just your truth. But it don't make it a fact. And it don't make it something you can't change and make better. And why would we want to choose thinking badly about anything or anyone and make us feel that bad energy, that heaviness, that negativity that's affecting us health wise when we could look at it from a new lens, a new perspective, put a new shoe on our foot and shift it to something different and something better that makes us feel lighter hearted and vibrating higher, right? Because that's what vibration is all about. When you feel better about something, you're vibrating higher. When you're feeling low about something, you're vibrating low. Okay. So that's how that works. So believe it and it will come. So synchronicity, God's grace, the universe working for you, karma, all the same thing. You create your reality. And I want you to, again, I'm going to repeat this. Ask yourself, how do you walk Well, good God. I don't even know where we're at. I just totally lost internet and everything, and it dropped me out of this recording. So I'm going to try to back this up and hopefully cover whatever I might have missed, because I don't know how long it wasn't recording. Okay, so you believe, or you're creating your reality by the way you think, feel, act, whatever, in your daily life. This non local entanglement factors into everything: creation and communication. Creating your reality or contributing to another's healing or harmony, or excuse me, healing or harming or neutral at all times. It's a constant. So being awake is to be aware of this, because everything that we feel, we think, and project for ourselves, for other people, for a situation, it's affecting us, it's affecting them, it's affecting the situation, whether you realize it or not, right? Like when somebody tells you, oh, such and such just happened to me, and you think bad of it, and you're like, well, you deserve that. Well, then they're going to get more of that because you just helped add to the ingredients of the negative stuff that would go toward them, right? If somebody tells you, I just got diagnosed with some disease, and you think, well, that's it for them, they're not going to make it through this. Well, you just added more negativity and possibility of that outcome being their result, right? Um, Positive thinking and positive energy being sent to people is a very real thing that we should factor into everything that we do and think and interact with. It's a very, very real thing. And it really can make a difference in somebody's life or not. So I don't like them words Pollyanna, because that lessens the importance of being mindful and being positive in how we think and feel and interact and react and project our energy into the world. Okay. And in speaking of that, I just want to point out to you that hate is actually a desperate grab at love. So the next time you're hating something, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself and ask, why do I need to hate that? And what in me needs to be healed that I didn't get love from? Because hate is a trigger thing that comes from within, something inside of you that needs to be healed and released. Otherwise, you ain't got hate towards somebody for what they've done. You can see that they messed up. You can see that that was not something that you deserved, and you can walk away from it, and you can never talk to that person again, never have to deal with that person again. But you don't need to walk away with hate in your heart, because it ain't hurting them to hate them as much as it's hurting you to hate them, right? And so you need to ask yourself, what is it in me that I can fix, I can heal, to where I can feel better and lighter than this hate or this sadness or this abandonment or whatever it is that's going on within you. And that is something that I help people to do. So if you need help understanding that better, please contact me, because I'm really good at helping people see this and release it. Okay, so healer and healing happens in every relationship. There's a healer and there's the one that's healing, right? In every single relationship, every single dynamic, every single duality type of interaction, whether it's you with a customer, you with your neighbor, you with your friend, you with your spouse or your significant other, you with your child, you with your parent, doesn't matter who it is. it's a constant. Somebody's the healer and somebody's the one that's the healee, right? The one that's healing. And that can be both ways. It can be you're both healing and you're both a healer for each other. You can actually, be both roles. But every single interaction is about this healer versus healee um, quotient that's going on. Okay. So all of this is about loving attention, loving, right? Coming from a place of a good place in your heart, being loving in your attention. And what do I mean by that? There's four concepts to this, four applications. To listen to someone is to truly be paying attention to them. So that's a form of showing them that you love them, that you care. Affection is another way to show people that you love them and that you care, right? And we can be affectionate in many different ways. Appreciation is a way to show that you love them and that you care, because you're teaching people that they're unique and they're valued, right? By showing your appreciation of them. And then the fourth and final one, and maybe the most important of all of them, is acceptance, which is your way of showing in a loving manner that you can love them unconditionally. You accept them for who they are. So, again, this would eliminate factors of things like hate or jealousy or animosity or whatever word you want to use, right? To love unconditionally is to say, okay, yep, that's just who you are. Maybe you're just an asshole to everybody and you don't know how to talk nicely to people. That's just who you are, right? Accept them for that. If you still want to be in their 6 degrees, then be in their 6 degrees. If not, walk away with love in just full acceptance that that's just who they are. And they may or may not change in this lifetime. Who knows, right? But you walk away with grace and giving them space, because we're all in this together and we're all learning, and there is no damn rule book. I don't care who you are. There ain't a rule book. We're all figuring this out together. Um, so the neural processes begin to rewire as we apply these four different points that I've just mentioned. Applying these 4 points to other people and ourselves helps our neural processes to begin to rewire, which is um, energetic healing in and of itself. So you're helping yourself to heal, you're helping other people to heal by applying these four things: by listening, having affection, having appreciation, and having acceptance. Really, you could say, instead of listening, you could say attention. It's the 4 A's, right? Attention, affection, appreciation, acceptance. It changes your neural processing, it changes theirs. It is energetic healing at its finest. And in the next 20 years, the potential for miraculous healing is going to be very real and possible for the majority rather than the minority. With the help of others and our entanglement, our quantum entangling uh, energies, we will be able to truly know thyself and the potential and ability of the self in order to heal the self, heal others,